The grandstands are still empty, but Monza is already buzzing. A hush in the pit lane, a hint of a secret, and it points straight to Ferrari. For the Italian Grand Prix, they're bringing something audacious, a radical high-risk upgrade to the SF25 built for Monza's flat-out low-downforce demands. This isn't a minor adjustment, it's a daring gambit that could either dazzle everyone or spectacularly misfire. Why pull this now? Because it's Monza, Ferrari's home turf, where the Tifosi expect something extraordinary. The team still wants to send a message, even if the championship fight looks increasingly out of reach. The story stretches back to June, when Ferrari quietly slowed their development program after accepting that catching the championship leaders was unlikely. They shifted focus to 2026 and even scrapped a planned new floor for Baku, a decision made by technical director Loic Serra, so resources could be redirected to the future car. But Monza is different. It's hallowed ground. And this year marks 50 years since Niki Lauda clinched his first title with Ferrari. The team has lined up special fan events with stars like Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, so the pressure to perform is huge. They won't arrive empty-handed. The leak says they'll bring 2 rear-wing options for the SF25, a conservative carryover from last season, and a completely new extreme wing trimmed ruthlessly for one thing only: top speed. Ferrari's new rear wing is built to shred Monza's long straights. Think of it slicing air cleanly to boost top speed without making the car twitchy. That balance wasn't easy. The wing had to pass tight FIA tests and only got clearance after Ferrari reduced how much it could bend under load. Too much flex isn't just against the rules, and it can be dangerous, so the design had to juggle raw performance and safety. Ferrari even persuaded an engineer who was about to leave to stick around and help with the FIA's final checks. That shows how seriously they treated it. In practice, you'll notice bright green Flovis paint streaked across the wings. It looks like a splash of modern art, but it's actually a way to see how air flows over the surface. Every streak tells engineers whether the upgrade is doing its job. It's a visible sign Ferrari is still fighting. But there's another story running at the same time. At a recent Pirelli tyre test in Hungary, Ferrari trialled a movable front wing DRS, basically a front wing that can open like the rear DRS. Under the 2026 rules, movable front and rear elements are allowed, and Ferrari was the first team to try a working front-wing device on a real car. Rival teams, Aston Martin, McLaren, Alpine and Red Bull, didn't bother running it. On day 2, Ferrari bolted it on and let Charles Leclerc put it through its paces. Pirelli boss Mario Isola said the trial was useful. Tests done without the device are still relevant, but the comparisons revealed differences that help quantify the effect. He also pointed out a limit. Today's cars generate most of their downforce from the floor, not the wings, so the device will probably have a bigger impact on next year's lower downforce cars. Still, it was valuable to see how it behaves on track. So Ferrari is working on 2 fronts: a risky, performance-focused rear wing to attack Monza now, and experimental front wing tech to prepare for 2026. 2 timelines, 1 team, pushing hard today while getting a head start on the future. But is it enough? That's the question as the paddock heads to Monza. Everyone's talking about the drama at the rear wing, and fans will be glued to Ferrari's extreme-looking setup, yet the real game-changer might be up front. At a quiet Pirelli tyre test in Budapest, Ferrari quietly tried something no other team did: a movable front wing. It's a peek at the tech coming in 2026, but Ferrari didn't wait. They bolted the device to a mule car, put Charles Leclerc in it, and went out to collect data that could influence next year's designs. Most teams stuck with standard setups or used rear-wing DRS to mimic lower downforce. Ferrari pushed further. Under a June FIA technical directive, front-wing DRS is allowed in tyre tests, and at Budapest, Ferrari were the only ones to run it. Pirelli watched closely. Their boss, Mario Isola, said the test proved useful. They saw differences but could still compare the results with tests run without the device and understand its impact. Yes, the movable front wing made a measurable difference. Isola also warned it won't behave exactly like the 2026 systems. Today's cars create most of their downforce from the floor, so next year's device will probably cut more load and drag than Ferrari measured on a mule. Still, testing it now gave Pirelli vital information on how tyres react when front downforce drops. Changes in braking, tyre wear and corner entry were all apparent. And Ferrari now owns that data. Pirelli has been racing the clock. The September 1st homologation deadline meant the 2026 tyre compounds were finalised, and Ferrari's test fed into that decision. Isola explained the new tyres aren't just smaller versions, they remain 18-inch, but the rim diameter decreases and the width changes, so the tyre profile had to be redesigned completely, not just the construction and compounds. In short, these are new tyres with a smaller contact patch. Teams like Ferrari have been essential in showing Pirelli how those tyres will grip, wear and react to heat, information that will shape both the cars and the rubber they'll use next year. Isola points out that when a tyre has a small contact area that carries a lot of force, it's much more likely to blister. That's why Ferrari's input has been so important. And it wasn't only on-track trials. Pirelli also provides tyre models that teams feed into their simulators, letting them fine-tune future setups before the car even exists. We give teams the tyre's vehicle model, Isola says. They run it in their simulators and report back. So what's the takeaway? Ferrari isn't just reacting race by race. They're planning ahead, they're helping shape the tyres, testing aerodynamic ideas and even influencing regulations, all while taking bold chances now. Yes, they've brought a radical rear wing to Monza. Yes, they've tried future parts on a mule car. But more than anything, they're playing for today's win and tomorrow's advantage. Now ask yourself, are these moves a last-ditch bid to dazzle the home crowd, or proof that Ferrari has been a few steps ahead all along? If the gamble pays off, if that wing works and the numbers back it up, they won't just excite the fans at Monza, they could make the rest of the grid nervous. What do you think? Is this Ferrari's final stand or the opening move of something much bigger? Tell us in the comments. Because at Monza, with thousands of tifosi behind them, Ferrari isn't being quiet anymore. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.